Official report Earth observation mission filed by Chief Researcher Blip-Blop classification urgent Class-12 Deathworld discovery date standard galactic year 3472. Look, I know nobody's going to believe this report. I barely believe it myself, and I was there. But as Chief Researcher of the Galactic Research Institute's Xenobiological Division, it's my duty to document everything, even the impossible. Especially the impossible. It started as a routine observation mission. Earth had pinged our long-range sensors as a potential Class 4 civilization, the usual stuff. Primitive FTL attempts, questionable fashion choices, and an unhealthy obsession with creating digital images of their juvenile felines. Nothing special. Oh, how wrong we were. Our cloaked observation vessel settled into orbit on what the locals call a Friday night now. Let me tell you about my team. There's Professor Zzt fresh out of the academy, tentacles still gleaming with that new graduate shine. And Dr. Sparkles. Yes, that's their actual name. Top of their class in toxicology, although after what we witnessed, they're considering a career change to interpretive dance. Chief Blip-Blop, Professor Zt's voice crackled through our ship's comm system. You need to see this. The humans are gathering in large numbers at designated structures. I slithered over to the observation deck, all 4 of my eye stalks focused on the monitoring screens. Hundreds of humans were indeed congregating in buildings labeled with strange names like O'Malley's Pub and the Tipsy Squirrel. Fascinating, I mumbled, adjusting my scientific observation monocle. Must be some sort of religious ceremony. Dr. Sparkles waved their toxicity scanner excitedly. Chief, I'm detecting high levels of ethanol in these gathering places. Surely they're aware it's a dangerous toxin. We decided to send down our micro-drones for closer observation. What happened next? Shudders dramatically. What happened next will forever haunt my scientific nightmares. The humans weren't avoiding the ethanol. They weren't clearing it out. They were consuming it. Voluntarily. By the sacred tentacles of science, Dr. Sparkles screamed, their chromatophores flashing emergency patterns. They're ingesting C2H5O. They'll be dead in minutes. But they didn't die. They didn't even seem mildly inconvenienced. Instead, they became louder, more animated. Some began moving their bodies in asymmetrical patterns that defied both physics and common decency. Chief Professor Zzt whispered, one human just consumed something called a Death by Chocolate Martini. The name literally includes death. And there, smiling. Our observation continued in horror as we witnessed humans consuming various poison cocktails, some mixed with frozen water crystals, others set on fire before consumption. A few even served in containers made from sodium silicate compounds glass, they call it, which they smash after drinking. Update toxicity analysis, I commanded weakly. Dr. Sparkles' tentacles trembled as they read the results. Multiple poison variants detected: ethanol, various alkaloids including something called tequila, trace amounts of carbon dioxide deliberately added for pleasure. Chief Professor Zzt interrupted. The humans appear to be engaging in some sort of competitive poison consumption ritual. They call it shots. I watched in scientific terror as humans lined up small vessels of pure toxin and rapidly consumed them in sequence. The winners celebrated by consuming more poison. That's when we made our first critical error. Professor Zzt, overcome with scientific curiosity, directed a micro-drone too close to a group of particularly intoxicated humans. Dude, one of them slurred, pointing directly at our supposedly invisible drone. Is that like a floaty, glowy thing? Hua, their companion responded with far too many vowels. Maybe we shouldn't have mixed those last 3 shots. Emergency protocols were immediately activated. Our drone self-destructed in a completely safe, environmentally friendly manner. We're scientists, not monsters, and our ship retreated to a higher orbit. Back in the safety of deep space, we compiled our initial findings. 1. Humans intentionally consume poisons for recreation. 2. They have developed specialized buildings dedicated to poison consumption. 3. They create increasingly complex poison combinations for taste. 4. Some even pay extra for top-shelf toxins. 5. Their bodies somehow process these poisons with minimal apparent harm. 6. They consider this normal. Recommendations. 1. Upgrade Earth's classification to Class 12 Deathworld immediately. 2. Revise all previous assumptions about human biology. 3. Never, ever accept a human's offer to grab a drink. 4. Seriously consider whether we should be studying them or they should be studying us. Personal note: I need a vacation. Preferably somewhere with no ethanol, no humans, and excellent therapy services for traumatized xenobiologists. Official report: Earth observation mission, follow-up investigation filed by Chief Researcher Blip-Blop, classification extremely urgent, ongoing Class 12 Deathworld study, date standard galactic year 3472, 2 standard weeks after initial contact. The Galactic Science Council called an emergency session after my initial report. They accused me of either gross incompetence or having consumed some Earth toxins myself. So here we are, back in Earth's orbit with an enhanced research team. Because apparently watching humans literally drink poison wasn't terrifying enough the first time. Our new team includes Dr. Blip-Blop, the leading expert in impossible biology, and Safety Officer Nope, who has already tried to resign 3 times since being briefed. Can't blame them. I tried to resign twice myself, but apparently my letter of resignation was too heavily stained with stress-induced slime to be legible. Team, I addressed our expanded crew. Today we begin our detailed investigation into how humans consume literal poison for entertainment. Any questions before we start? Safety Officer Nope raised all 3 appendages. Yes, I have several thousand, starting with Y. Dr. Sparkles, who had unfortunately been denied their transfer request, just curled into a defensive ball and softly hummed the Galactic Safety Protocol theme song. Our new observation strategy involved multiple disguised drones and a more systematic approach to studying human drinking establishments. We categorized them as follows. 1. Bars, standard poison distribution centers. 2. Clubs, poison distribution combined with rhythmic movement. 3. Pubs like bars, but with more elaborate origin stories. 4. Wine tastings where humans pretend to be sophisticated while still consuming poison. Chief Dr. Blip-Blop called out, their excitement glands visibly swollen. You won't believe these readings. Humans have different categories of poisons they consume. Their scientific report appeared on my screen. Human poison classification study. Beer fermented grain poison, supposedly refreshing. Wine fermented fruit poison, for sophisticated poison consumers. Spirits distilled pure poison for when regular poison isn't poisonous enough. Cocktails mixed poison art because apparently plain poison is boring. And look at this, Professor Zzt added, practically vibrating with scientific horror. They have age restrictions. You must be a certain level of biological development before you're allowed to poison yourself. Safety Officer Nope started stress molting. That implies they have to learn to consume poison safely. What kind of evolution allows for that? Our observations continued through what humans call a Saturday night. We witnessed increasingly baffling behaviors. 21 humans begin arriving at poison distribution centers. 22 first round of social lubricant poisons consumed. 23 loud vocalization of something called Sweet Caroline Ba Ba. 23 coordinated poison consumption ritual called Happy Hour. Despite lasting 3 hours, humans now consuming something called Jagger bombs, which sounds like a weapon, but is apparently a drink. 1 multiple humans attempting to mate while under influence of poisons. 2 final call for poison. Many humans seemed distressed by this announcement. But the real breakthrough came when we detected something extraordinary. Humans were experiencing different stages of poison consumption. Dr. Blip-Blop's analysis identified distinct phases. 1. Slightly poisoned, increased volume, decreased inhibition. 2. Quite poisoned, enhanced storytelling abilities, decreased coordination. 3. Very poisoned, sudden onset of universal friendship, physics optional. 4. Extremely poisoned, spontaneous singing, random declarations of love. 5. Critically poisoned floor appears to become unstable. Food becomes irresistible. Chief Professor Zzt interjected. I've discovered something called a drinking game. It appears to be a ritualistic competition where the prize is more poison. I watched in horror as humans gathered around a table, bouncing small spheres into cups of poison. When they successfully landed a sphere, their opponent had to consume the poison. And they were celebrating this. Our research took an unexpected turn when we discovered something called a Wine Mom Book Club. Initial scan suggested it was a literary discussion group. It was not. It was highly organized, synchronized poison consumption disguised as cultural advancement. Dr. Sparkles finally emerged from their defensive ball to add a crucial observation: these humans are developing immunity. Each time they survive poison consumption, they can consume more poison next time. Safety Officer Nope began writing their fourth resignation letter. But the most disturbing discovery came from our analysis of human information networks. They had something called hangover cures treatments for the after effects of voluntary poison consumption. The very existence of these remedies proved this wasn't just random behavior, it was a developed, sustained cultural practice. Recommendations based on extended observation. 1. Maintain Earth's Class-12 Deathworld status. 2. Begin immediate study of human metabolic systems. 3. Investigate possibility that humans are actually immortal. 4. Provide mandatory therapy for all research staff. 5. Seriously consider if we should just leave humans alone before they decide to drink something really dangerous. Personal note: my retirement fund isn't nearly large enough for this level of scientific trauma. Official report: Earth observation mission final analysis filed by Chief Researcher Blip-Blop, currently on stress leave, classification abandon all hope, Class-12 Deathworld, confirmed date standard galactic year 3472 1 standard month after initial contact. I'm filing this report from the Gamma Centauri Relaxation Spa, where I've been prescribed mandatory tentacle massage therapy and daily meditation sessions. Dr. Sparkles is in the next room, still occasionally screaming, but why do they call it happy hour? In their sleep. And up in their sleep. The Galactic Science Council demanded one final observation mission before allowing our permanent retreat. They refused to believe our findings about humans deliberately combining different poisons for flavor profiles. I wish I could say they were right. Our new observations have revealed even more disturbing patterns. 1. Scheduled mass poisoning events. The humans organize enormous gatherings specifically for coordinated poison consumption. They call these festivals and conventions. We observed one called Oktoberfest, where thousands of humans gathered in specialized clothing to consume vast quantities of fermented grain poison while eating sodium-laden meat tubes they call bratwurst. Professor Zzt, now pursuing a career in interpretive dance therapy, documented humans wearing shirts proudly declaring beer is just breakfast, I can drink this, is not a distress signal. This is their idea of humor. 2. Poison appreciation societies. We discovered groups of humans who gather regularly to scientific shudder, rate different poisons. They call themselves connoisseurs and use terms like bouquet, finish, and mouthfeel. They swirl the poison in clear containment vessels, inhale its fumes deliberately, and then describe its notes and character like they're not discussing literal toxins. Dr. Fizz-Pop observed one such gathering where humans paid excessive currency to taste something called a 30-year-old single malt. They celebrated the fact that their poison was older than some of their offspring. 3. Poison creation as artistic expression. Most horrifying of all, we discovered specialized humans called mixologists who are celebrated for their ability to combine poisons in new and interesting ways. They add frozen water crystals carved into specific geometric shapes. They infuse additional plant matter for garnish. They even set some drinks on fire before consumption. Safety Officer Nope, now working as a meditation instructor, observed one such mixologist create something called a smoky old-fashioned, which involved capturing actual smoke in a glass vessel, adding multiple types of poison, inserting a frozen water sphere, adding botanical extracts, charging an amount of currency that could power our research vessel for a standard week. 4. The ultimate horror, drinking holidays. Just when we thought we understood the extent of human resilience to toxins, we discovered specific calendar dates designated for enhanced poison consumption. St. Patrick's Day, New Year's Eve, and something called Cinco de Mayo appear to be organized celebrations where poison consumption is not just encouraged but expected. Dr. Sparkle's final analysis before their nervous breakdown suggested that humans actually plan their next poison consumption session while still recovering from their last one. They call these plans hair of the dog or weekend plans. 5. Mathematical impossibilities. Our most advanced computational models have failed to explain how humans can function the next day after consuming their body weight in poison, still desire poison after experiencing what they call a hangover, maintain complex societal structures while regularly ingesting toxins, remember elaborate poison recipes but forget where they left their communication devices, survive. And final recommendations. 1. Classify Earth as beyond standard Deathworld categories suggests new classification. What in the name of science? 2. Update first contact protocols to include poison resistance testing for all diplomatic personnel. 3. Never attempt to match humans drink for drink looking at you. Professor Zzt. 4. Approve my permanent transfer to the Galactic Institute's Deep Space Meditation Department. 5. Consider the possibility that humans are actually invincible, and we should be very, very afraid. Personal note: I've discovered something called non-alcoholic beer. I don't want to live in this galaxy anymore. Addendum: the Galactic Science Council has officially designated Earth as too weird to study, and has approved our request to pretend we never found it. All research materials will be sealed in a vault labeled "Not Enough Nope."